The following non-nominated, non-award-winning program is rated D for Dumb.
The following podcast is rated D for Dumb. You're listening to Dumbing It Down with Dave, the fastest podcast on earth. Listen to Dave commute to and from work on the New York State Thruway in his 2008 Kia Rio LX. He talks about pragmatism, truth, happiness, and the search for it all. Join Dave as he asks and tells you how life ought to be. And now, here's Dave.
Well, hello everybody. Dave Canyon here. We are on the New York State Thruway southbound, headed home on a Wednesday. Are you ready to dumb it down? All right, that's fantastic. I'm really glad to hear that. I'm going to try not to yell this particular episode. I think the last episode, with the equipment I'm using right now, I was yelling because that's what I usually do. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and I yell, I talk loud. You know, you got to talk over the traffic. You got to talk over the other, people who are constantly talking, because that's what people from Brooklyn and New York do. They're always talking. I don't know if they're listening much. It's hard to hear because everybody's talking. And then there's traffic, and then there's, sirens, and there's all this noise, there's gunshots. It's just a lot of cursing. So it's the train, the taxis, the cars, the airplanes. It's just, it's just 5 boroughs of noise. Really, it's just, it's awful. And I have a hearing problem. I don't hear very well. Go figure. So I'm going to try to talk and not yell this particular episode. Maybe it'll sound a little bit better. Nobody complained about it, but then again, I don't know who's listening anymore. The chat room has been very quiet. Nobody seems to be contributing to the chat room. Is that a complaint? Yeah, it's a bit of a complaint. I like when you guys engage. I engage with your stuff. When you guys do your thing, I engage. So I'm not going to go on a rant like I used to be, about friends and all that other stuff. But yeah, it'd be nice if you guys would engage. I think I'm giving you some stuff to engage with, some stuff to sink your teeth into. But if not, then you should put in the chat room, hey, Dave, when are you going to give me something to sink my teeth into? I like it when you do more than just click like and move on, because that's what I do for you. But whatever, it's fine. You do you. And if you're selfish, then you do you. If you're ignorant, then you do you. Dave, why don't you alienate everybody in your life? No, I'm just saying, you know how I feel. I'm like, you do you. Whatever it is, it's the truth. And I'm fine with that. I'm just saying it would be nice. That's all I'm saying. So let's move on. A little icebreaker there. Yeah, Dave, great icebreaker there. Everybody who barely liked you now totally dislikes you and they're gone. Well, whatever. Well, let's move on to the new audience. Same as the old audience. Who knows? Who cares? Hey everybody, Dave Canyon here. We are southbound the New York State Thruway. We're not in the Kia Rio today. We are in the Dodge Caravan, and I'll give you a quick mileage report. It's not as fascinating as the mileage report in the Kia. And for those of you who are new to the show, I do the mileage report usually for the Kia, but I'll throw it in for the van because I do this episode, these episodes, Dumbing It Down with Dave. It's subtitled Truth, Pragmatism, Happiness, and the Search for It All. And we try to, base a lot of the stuff we talk about here on pragmatism, to be pragmatic and all that, and try to find the truth, whatever that truth may be. North, south, east, west, black, white, Chinese, Hispanic, Puerto Rican, Democrat, Republican, whatever it may be, alien or otherwise. We look for the truth. And we don't always know it. More times than not, we don't know it. How do we know the truth? We've been lied to so many times. It's hard to really know, to discern the difference between what sounds like the truth and what is the truth, what sounds like a lie, what is a lie, and what's been omitted and what's been added. It's all craziness. But anyway, so I do the show during my commute on the New York State Thruway for the most part, and usually do it in the Kia, which has over 317,000 miles on it now. But let's do the Dodge Caravan. Dodge Caravan. Mileage report is 123,570 miles. That's not bad for a Dodge Caravan. It's pretty good. I could still sell it. It still runs really nice and well. And I've had an issue or two here, but nothing too bad. I recommend it. You want to buy a Dodge Caravan 2011? If you want to buy this one, let me know. We'll talk. And I'd be more than willing to sell it and maybe upgrade to something newer. We'll see. Anyway, just reach me at Dumb with Dave. DUMB on Twitter at Dum with Dave. I'm on Instagram at Dumbing It Down with Dave. My email is dumbingitdownwithdave@yahoo.com. Wherever I am is, Dumbing It Down with Dave. So just look for me. I'm everywhere. That's Dumbing It Down with Dave. Anyway, so 123,571 miles. Pretty good. It's 72 degrees outside here in New York. It's mostly sunny. It's hazy. Apparently we have some smoke in the skies, in the atmosphere, from some forest that's burning in Alberta, Canada. Giving us that fresh Alberta burnt forest. We love that. Comes through the jet stream and then lands here. Whatever. Like, we don't have enough problems. So anyway, but New York State, great state to live, great state to move to. If you're living somewhere where you're getting a lot of floods and earthquakes or whatever, I can't vouch for the political landscape here. It's been corrupt as far as I know since I was a boy. It's always been corrupt. We've had corrupt governors, we've had corrupt mayors, corrupt councilmen, corrupt everything. It's just corrupt. So, but come on down and make a little niche for yourself. Find a little piece of property, get a home. Put your head down, don't make any eye contact, go to work, come home like I do. And live a pragmatic life. You'll be okay. I can't even promise that. Maybe you won't be okay. But do the best you can. We'll see what happens. So, this is like episode, 300,004. I don't remember. 300, whatever. It sounds like, I feel like 315 maybe would be a good number. I don't even know. But it's a lot of episodes. And, let's get to it. Excuse me. No cough button. I am actually going down the thruway. I'm going to get off at Catskill, New York, where I usually do the loop-de-loop northbound. For those of you that don't know what the loop-de-loop is, you'll have to listen to the last 200 episodes. Somewhere in there I give you an explanation. And there's probably a show, you can search it, called Loop-de-Loop. I explained the loop-de-loop, or loop-de-loop part 1. I don't even know. But I do it on the thruway, so this way I could travel 45 miles a day and not pay the ridiculous tolls that they have here in New York State, which apparently they're having a meeting. If not yesterday, today, tomorrow, whatever, and they're going to discuss a toll hike. I always love when I watch the news, and they go, they're going to get together and discuss the toll hike. I'm like, wow, you guys got some nerve. You really got some nerve with the toll hike. First of all, they just got rid of, I don't know how many thousands of toll collectors. There's no toll booths anymore on the New York State Thruway. And I never found out how many employees they let go. I'm sure a lot of them are still paying a pension or whatever it is. There must have been a severance package, I'm assuming. This used to be a great job, being a toll collector. I used to be related to one, or semi-related to one. I think it was the husband of an aunt, of a grandmother, of whatever. So it's one of those deals. But I don't know if I ever met him. Maybe I did. Yeah, I did meet him. He had arthritis, I remember. He wasn't looking too good. I remember meeting a guy who had arthritis. What was his name? I don't know, but he had arthritis. That's what you remember? You're a hell of a guy, Dave. Well, what can I tell you? I met him. They told me his name, and I went to shake his hand. He went, "Ooh, I got arthritis." I went, so that trumped, that overtook. Remember, because I remember from watching The Memory Guy on Carson. He would say, when you meet somebody, you should shake their hand and look them in the eye and say their name. Oh, hi, Joe. Well, how you doing, Joe? Well, how's things, Joe? Or whatever. And I think in this case it was Jerome. Hey, Jerome, how you doing? And then he said, I got arthritis. And I went, well, now I'm going to remember him as Arthur. Arthritis. I wish that was his name, Arthur. It would have been so simple. Anyway, but he eventually passed away. But I know he worked for the Thruway for a long time. Anyway, they have some nerve raising these tolls. Some nerve. I mean, we still got potholes everywhere. Traffic on Sundays, although I don't drive the Thruway on Sundays 99% of the time. I think they could do better. For the money we pay, I don't pay because I have the Thruway permit. I do the loop-de-loop. So I get my 30-mile discount, and I get off the Thruway before the 30 miles are up, and then I get back on the Thruway immediately, and then I go to my destination, and I pay nothing because I get a 30-mile discount. It's genius. Pure genius. It's a loophole in the system. It's supposed to be some sort of commuter discount, a commuter discount. They want you to commute on the Thruway, and they give you this 30-mile discount. I pay $88 a year for this, and I make that money back within a couple of months. So it's worth it to me. And every time I tell somebody, and for those of you who have already heard the story, my apologies. I'm sorry. I know I repeat myself, but there's always new listeners. You know that. I have to cater to the new. I have to cater to the old. I have to cater to everybody. It's very hard to do. What am I supposed to do? Do two Dumbing It Down with Daves, the newbie Dumbing It Down with Daves, and the people who've been listening to me for 300 episodes? I could do that. Is that a good idea? Let me know. I'll do it. You want me to do it? I'll do it. I'll do two different Dumbing It Down with Daves. But for that matter, if I'm going to do a show for new people, I'm just going to call it the Dave Canyon Show. So I'll have the Dave Canyon Show, and I'll have Dumbing It Down with Dave. So the Dave Canyon Show will be new until it gets to episode 317, like this one, or whatever number it is, and then it won't be so new anymore. And then I'll have to do a third show, I'll have the really, really old people who have been with me for 20 years, and then I'll have the middle people who were with me when I was new, and then I'll have to have a new show. Oh, yeah. And I'll call it the new show. That's what I'll call it, new. So I'm on the thruway. I just got to Catskill, New York. I'm going to get off. I'm going to go to Walmart after I finish this episode, and I'm going to go buy a Mother's Day card for my wife. And then I'm going to head home, and I'm going to see if there's a chocolate place open. It's called Krause's Candy or Krause's Chocolates. I don't know. I don't know how they get away with it. I guess anywhere you are and you open up a store called Krause, Krause', Krause or Krause's, you're immediately a chocolate factory. You immediately are a grade of chocolate. I know of two of these, and I don't think they're related at all. But I think people just say, you know what, I'm going to open up a store called Krause's, and I'm going to sell chocolate. Listen, I have no ability to verify what's true and what's not true about the name, about their ability to manufacture chocolate because they're German or whatever they are, wherever they're from, and all that other good stuff. But I do know that they're the only chocolate game in town. They're the only chocolate store, I don't know, for 30, 40, 50 miles. The one up here by me in the Hudson Valley. You can look it up. And the other one is in New Jersey. So I don't live near there. I'm not going to go down there. But they sort of look alike and they sound alike. And I don't know anything about them. I don't know the story of it. And I don't know if there's other Krause's candies. But I don't think they're the same owner. I think they just think, I'm going to open up a chocolate store. I'm going to call it Krause. You wouldn't call it Schwartz's chocolate, would you? No. You wouldn't call it Santiago's chocolate, would you? No. You wouldn't call it Chow's chocolate? No, you wouldn't call it Chow's chocolate. So, whatever. Go down the list. Every nationality. Would you call it the last name, the most popular last name of any other nationality for a chocolate factory? No, probably not. But Krause's, that sounds pretty good. That sounds reliably chocolatey, German and chocolatey. Yeah, I don't know. Why not Wonka? What was not Wonka's nationality? I think Irish, because he had red hair. I'm guessing. I'm just guessing. I don't know. So anyway, don't judge a cover by its book. Okay, there you go. See, I said it. You don't have to say it for me. So yeah, I'm going to go to Mother's Day card. This way, it's done. I don't have to worry about it tomorrow, which will be Thursday, and then Friday, and then I'll give my wife the card on Saturday or Sunday, because you can't have a holiday without a card. You got to have a card. Of course, you got to have a card. If you're married, you got to get a card. Not the woman. The woman doesn't have to get a card because the man doesn't care. But if you're a man, you got to get the card, because if you don't get the card for the woman looks at you like, "Where's my card?" And you're like, all right, you're living in my house. You're living in the house that I paid for, that I worked for, and I know that you think that we both paid for it. But let's just say, for instance, possibly, maybe as a matter of factly, the male paid for it more than the woman, because the woman was taking care of the son. Yeah, but you put a dollar value on taking care of the son. By the way, I'm not talking about my situation. I'm speaking for a friend. That's what I'm doing. I'm speaking for a friend. Yeah, you put a dollar value on that. So I guess it's 50-50, right? I can't say that I put in more money than the wife. If it was me, it's not me. I'm talking for a friend. But yeah, you got to get the card. Otherwise, forget about it. But I would like to say, we're pretty much living within the card. Every day when you walk through the door, just look around and go, yeah, happy Mother's Day. I have a house. It's a nice house. It's been redone. Oh, look, if I keep on walking straight through the house to the back, I end up on a deck. And what's attached to the deck? Oh, a pool. I'll be using that pool very shortly when it gets hot. Oh, yeah. Oh, look, what's on the other side of the pool? Oh, yeah, backyard. Oh, it's a beautiful backyard. Who cut that grass? Oh, maybe the husband did. Yeah, maybe he did. I don't know. I'm not talking about myself. I'm speaking for a friend. So, I can go on and on. Oh, wow. What did I just come out of a nice car? Yeah, I think I came out of a nice Subaru. You did? How'd you get that Subaru? Well, we both paid for it, kind of, really. Maybe one paid for it more than the other. I don't know. There's no really point on dickering. I don't know. I'm speaking for a friend. But I get the card. Speaking of me, now, getting back to me, yeah, I'm going to get a card. I have to get a card. I'm always asked by the person who I'm giving this card to, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want for your birthday? What do you want for Father's Day? What do you want? What do you want? I go, leave me alone. What about, I give you the same answer every time. You know what I want? Leave me alone. Can I have a day where you leave me alone? Just leave me alone. What does that mean, leave me alone? Well, it means don't bother me. Don't ask me if I'm hungry. Don't ask me if I want to go anywhere. Don't do anything. Unless you're going to do something for me that really makes my eyes roll back in my head, and you know what that is. Unless you could do something that makes my eyes roll back in my head, don't bother me. Dave, that's crass. Is it crass? No, I think it's being honest. I don't know what crass means at this point. I mean, I know how to use it in a sentence, but I couldn't just give you a definition of crass. It's not crass. It's a podcast. I mean, if you can't talk like this in a podcast, I mean, when can you talk like this? I guess everywhere else, really. That's the truth. So anyway, I didn't feel like this when I started the podcast. I was really in a good mood. It's early. It's did I tell you what time it was? Well, it's 11 minutes after 4 p.m. now. And it's not bad. It's a beautiful day in New York. I had a great day yesterday and a great day the day before. Very calm, peaceful, quiet, nice weather. It's springtime. It's almost summertime. I can't wait. But somehow I pushed the button, and I mentioned Mother's Day, and now I'm obsessed about talking about cards. I have spent some previous time on the show talking about holidays, talking about cards, and how I hate the fact that I go spend $5, give $5 to Hallmark, or whichever company that has shelf space at Walmart. They hired an author, and I don't listen. Let me ask you a question. Can I ask you a question? I request permission to ask a question. Permission granted? Thank you. Does anybody here know anybody that's ever worked at a card company? Does anybody here know anybody that's ever had a job at a card company? Like Hallmark specifically? Anybody know a writer? Somebody who's a writer and writes for a card company that sits there all day, every day? Probably not in an office anymore, probably at home because of COVID. But goes to the Hallmark headquarters, or used to, and sits down and goes, hickory dickory dock, whatever. My wife, or, happy birthday to you, whatever. I don't know anybody that has that. I know there used to be a sitcom years ago. There was a sitcom about, what's her name? That famous girl from Back to the Future. I don't remember her name. But pretty woman, good actress, I guess. I don't know. But she, where am I? What are we doing here? Oh, okay. There we go. She, on a sitcom, was a writer for a card company. And she worked with a guy that was kind of wishy-washy. And there was some sort of stupid romantic triangle type of thing going on. I don't know. The guy was kind of like asexual. I don't know what was. It was a weird show. It wasn't very funny, and it didn't last very long. But I don't know anybody that's ever written for a card company. So, what's my point? Why would I bring that up? Because it's like, how do I know that they're not using, writing from 1960, 1970? How would I know? I would have no idea that I'm paying for a brand new card. Now, I've done shows before where I have said I have gone into Walmart in previous years and I have bought like 10 cards or whatever it was. I actually did maybe more than one podcast about buying cards years and years in advance. And you keep them in a plastic bag or a paper bag, whatever protects them. You put them in there for the guys mostly, I guess, not for the women. And you put them in the garage, and you kind of leave them there. You go, you know what? When I need a card, I know where to go. I go to the garage, and I'll pick out a card. This way, I don't have to worry about going to Walmart like I am right now, spending all this extra time and money. When you could buy cards at like 19, let's say now, that's how I was doing it now. You could buy cards. You could buy 10 cards at 2023 prices, right? This way, 2024, 25, 26. For the next 10 years, you've bought 30 cards. You bought Mother's Day cards, all right? 10 Mother's Day cards, let's just say. This is what I should do. Oh, what did I do? Oh, yeah, there you go. Nice to press the buttons by accident. I enjoy doing that. Did you enjoy that? Was that nice and loud in your ear? I can't edit that, so there you go. So let's say, for instance, I would go in there right now, and I would buy 10 Mother's Day cards. That's today. 10 birthday cards. That's next. 10 Valentine's Day cards. 30 cards. And I would be pretty much covered. I don't have to get my wife a Christmas card. Birthday. Did I say birthday? Let's try this again. 10 Mother's Day 10 birthday, 10 Valentine's Day. I think that's it. Those are 3, Mother's Day, Valentine's birthday. Those are 3 days that I really have to remember my wife. So if I bought 30 cards, I would be covered until I have full Alzheimer's 10 years from now at 69. And they would be in the garage just sitting somewhere in a secret spot. And every time, right before the holiday, I would just go in the garage and fish out a card. And I bet you cards are twice as much in 5 years. I bet you I save a whole bunch of money. I mean, not enough money to take my wife on vacation, but enough to get my wife another couple pieces of chocolate from Krause's Candy. I should have done this 20 years ago. I should go and always find those 99-cent cards. I should make it my ambition in life to find as many 99-cent cards. Oh, Robbie could do better than that. I could just learn how to make cards. I think I've said that before on the show. Why can't I just make my own card? Why can't I just take a piece of paper, fold it in half, and on the cover go, "Dear honey, I love you so much." And then, I don't know, put on some lipstick and I'll put my lips against the paper. And then on the inside it'd be like, I want you to know throughout all these years and after all those tears, I love you so much. I love you long time. I can't wait until next year when I get you just a card just as good as this to show you how much I feel. There you go, whatever. And then you sign your name, you date it. Of course, you always have to date it because if you don't date it, you get in a lot of trouble. And then that's it. And the back is like, empty. There's nothing. You don't have to put it. Card companies get away with that. They charge you for the back of the card. But there's nothing on the back of the card. But they still charge you for that. You should only have to pay for the cover, the inside left, and the inside right. You should not have to pay for the back. I don't know how you would do that, how the card companies could avoid making the back of a card. Maybe cards shouldn't be folded. Maybe cards should just be like an index card. Maybe they should just be small. Why can't that be acceptable? Why can't I just take a piece of cardboard the size of an index card and just write exactly, why can't I take a picture on my cell phone of any and every card in there that I just mentioned? Mother's Day, birthday, Valentine's Day. Take a picture of it on my cell phone, my iPhone, then print it on my Epson printer, very high quality printer at home, and then take that picture and then emboss it or whatever, or transfer it to an index card or just any sort of piece of paper that matches the picture, and then give that to my wife. Why wouldn't she, shouldn't she appreciate the effort that I made and saving $6? I will, in fact, take a picture of this card before I write anything, and then I will post it on the Dumbing It Down with Dave Facebook group. If you haven't gone to the Dumbing It Down with Dave Facebook group, please do. Okay, I already know that one of you is not on Facebook, and I'm hoping you're still on Twitter. So then what I will do is I will post this picture on Twitter, okay? And you will see the card I got and how much I paid for it. But I would think that she would say, "Oh my God, I've never seen a card like this before. What is this? This looks so interesting to me." Well, honey, I went to Walmart, right? Yes. Oh, thank you. Walmart's a great place to go for cards. That's where I go for your cards. Oh, yeah, I know. Okay. Yeah, because I'd be upset if you paid more at CVS or Walgreens. If you're going to buy a dopey card, I wouldn't say that like that, of course, but in my mind I would be saying, if you're going to buy a dopey card, don't spend the most money. Go to the place where it's the cheapest, dopiest cards. And then I took a picture of it, of the card that I selected for you, right? And then I transpired it, whatever. I don't know what I did. I transferred it via some sort of system of printing and ironing and, whatever, I don't know. And trick photography and all that good stuff. And then I put it on a piece of cardboard high quality cardboard. What I did actually over the years, every time you bought me one of those dopey shirts, I took the cardboard out from the back of the shirt. You know how you get one of those dressy shirts in this cardboard? So then I'd save those in the garage also. Everything in the garage is to save everything, so I don't have to spend money at Walmart. And then I got an envelope, or not. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I did. I don't know. And then I give it to you, and there you go. And it's a card. I put effort into this card. Any husband, right? Any husband could go to Walmart, spend $6 and just pick out a card. Whoop-de-doo. Dear so-and-so, love so-and-so. Date it on the top right, stick it in the envelope, and write, to my dearest, to my lovely, whatever. Lick it, seal it, and then wait until whatever, and just give it to you with a bouquet of flowers. Any husband could do that. But a real special husband will make the effort and take a picture of the card that he thinks is most appropriate for you, and then transpose it, transpond it, transistor it, transfer it onto a piece of cardboard, and then sign my name and give it to you. And it's a lot of extra work. Really should be appreciative of that. Anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, we're getting to the end. I enjoyed this episode. That was a lot of fun for me. Was it the episode I wanted to do? I'll be honest with you. No, and at the same time, I really had no idea what I wanted to do. This is one of those episodes that I hit the button, and Dave Canyon came out. So when I hit the button, it starts the podcast, the Spreaker recording app. But on the other hand, it also releases the Dave. Back a couple of years ago, they said, release the Kraken. Whatever, you'll release the Kraken. Is that what they were saying? So Dave, I pressed the button, I released the Dave. The Dave came out. And I feel good about it. I feel good about the Dave that I released. It's my true feelings. I don't know, what do you make of everything I said? Well, how do you feel about these cards? Do you make it a point to spend less when you get a card? Question number one. Do you make it a point to get the card that says the most accurate thing regardless of the cost? Do you agree that we shouldn't have to pay for the back of the card? We should only have to pay for the insides and maybe the top cover, if there is one, because we really don't need a top cover, right? We don't really need one. We just need the insides. And frankly, how do you feel about these folded cards? Don't you think if Hallmark just decreed, you know how they're taking away our gas stoves and they're forcing us to, by the way, where are the environmentalists in this? How come they're not saying, what are you doing with these cards? You fold these things in half. They're too big. We need to regulate cards. They should only be 3x5 index card size. You're cutting down these trees to do what? To repeat the same message year after year? So you could take the thing you wrote on these Mother's Day cards from 1962 and rehash it? How would I know? Why didn't my father do that for me? Why wouldn't my father save all those cards? And my mother. This is where I go, wait a minute. I got a legitimate complaint here. My father bought my mother a card in 1972, and look, it's the same exact card in 2023. They're not hiring any writers. There's no people sitting at a desk, sitting there coming up with these lovey-dovey things. So imagine if we just had some legislation or just had some common sense. We could really save the environment together. This is like a movement. You're going to be part of this movement? No more cards. Just, first of all, use all the paper you already have in your house. Every index card that you thought would be a good idea to take notes and you didn't take notes, take those and just start writing on them. Dear Dave, you're my favorite podcaster. I listened to all 300,000 episodes. Love whoever. And then send it to me, or take a picture of it. Take a picture of it and send it to me. Don't actually give me a card. Just take a picture of it and send it to me. And then you can reuse that card for another podcast if you want. There you go. Wow. I mean, maybe we'll talk about this again. I think I'm really hitting on something here. It's good for environmentalists and it's good for everybody if we just eliminate these dumb cards. The following has been a presentation of .001 Productions. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, and share this in your world. Bye.